about distraction and how distraction is a tool that we all use to kind of, hide away sometimes from feeling the depths of whatever we're feeling. I was talking to my daughter, who is doing this amazing program traveling in a semester in college all over the Western United States. And one of the things that I'm noticing every time I talk to her is that there's built-in time in their schedules for a lot of self-reflection. They're doing a lot of journaling. They're doing a lot of circling up. There's 20 of them being together, for 20 students for the entire semester together in their own little world. And it's been really good for her to cultivate a deep sense of presence and a deep sense of introspection. And I think that's a time in life when we tend to be very introspective anyway, when we're becoming adults and figuring out who we are. But I think as we go along the way, we can get really busy, we can get really distracted, we can get very involved in all the tasks of doing and the responsibilities that we forget to carve out time for this sense of reflection. And it's very important. And our yoga practice is this beautiful space to do this. And so I know you if you have been on your mat, you know this feeling of that the world kind of starts to fall away a little bit, and you get to really get to know what's happening with yourself. So think about the ways in which you distract yourself away from whatever's you're experiencing right now. Are you super busy? Do you kind of dive into work? Do you dive down a rabbit hole on your computer? Do you have addictions of any kind that you struggle with? Would you rather be talking about somebody else rather than kind of feeling into what's in your own heart? There's so many different ways that we kind of avoid having to look inward and really discover what's happening, because it can be scary, it can be difficult to really examine the state of affairs in our mind, our body, and our spirit. So let your practice today be a gift. Always let it be a gift, but especially when you have a focus on how am I today. When you kind of ask for that daily temperature reading, the body weather map, when you really take some time to notice, a lot of gifts can be found, a lot of subtleties of understanding yourself and knowing how you work in the world can be found through this process. And it's valuable. It's not, even though it can be difficult, it's very valuable. So let's sit up straight and tall and take a moment to drop in. So what has your morning been like so far? Or Ruth out there in Scotland, what has your evening been like so far, your day? So, how do you feel right now when you come into a steady seat? Is it difficult in your body to be here? Is it difficult? Do you have a racy mind? What can you do to start to find a slower pace? So perhaps begin with the breath. See what it feels like to drop yourself down just a notch, let the vibration drop down just a notch. And when you start to feel your breath, notice what you notice. What's first? What do you notice first about the breath? Is it the speed or texture? Is it the place that you feel breath in the body? And as we start to move into our breath more, let's see if we can manipulate just a little bit, where we let the exhales stretch out just a little bit longer, a little bit more length. And naturally, when we rebound into the inhale, probably it will slow down too. Pay attention to the small little pauses between the two sides of the breath. And notice the very first place in your body that you notice. When you look into the inner body, what's grabbing your attention first? Often something that's uncomfortable grabs our attention first. So notice if that's true for you, or maybe something that feels really free. grabbed your attention first. So, wherever that is, just start to ask the body, what's here? Do I need to shift how I'm sitting to open things up a little bit more? Is the body part that you're looking and feeling into asking something of you, a shift in your position or a little bit more support? What is needed? And then look deeper than just this circumstance of positioning and ask what is the deeper message of what you're experiencing. Is there a pattern that is available to be noticed? Is there an emotional component to the physical body that you're feeling? Is there a story here somewhere? And ask what is needed. And if anything comes, if insight comes in some way, let's enjoy that. Let's enjoy what the body is offering, the intuitive knowledge. And throughout your practice, you can ask these questions of yourself as we're moving. So let's place our hands together at our heart and feel the spine grow just a little taller. Bow in and offer an intention for your class today. What do you need in your practice? And then let's release the hands and come onto your back. All right, so find yourself becoming horizontal. And, if it's morning, maybe it hasn't been too long, a few hours since you've had the horizontal um, plane. Just notice what changes, what shifts in the body when you lie down. Sometimes I feel like this is like spilling water, when you pour water onto the floor, just letting it spread out. So try not to have any agenda just yet. Just feel your body at rest on the floor. Feel where you're touching the ground. Can you feel your bones, like maybe the back of your skull, maybe your shoulder blades or your elbows or the backs of your fingers, knuckles? Where are you touching the earth? Can you feel the pelvis, the backs of the calves, the heels? All right, and then let's take a giant deep breath here. Big, expansive inhale. And release the exhale. And let's go ahead and stretch. Okay, so reach the arms up overhead and feel your body begin to move a little bit. So maybe stretch the right side a little bit longer. You can feel that full length in your side, maybe the left side. Just feel into a little bit of awakening that a stretch can give you. And then while your arms and legs are long away from each other, just go ahead and spin some circles in your ankles and maybe in your wrists too. Kind of get the edges of your body. And then point your toes and hug your fists, and then flex your toes and open your palms. And just feel into a little bit of open and close in the edges. All right, and then let's find that in the full body. So stretch your limbs wider now. So arms and legs out to the sides, expand, and then knees into the chest and feel the smallness come in. So drop your knees close in and start to rock, just swaying from left to right, feeling that sense of ease. What's here? Okay, do you feel a sense of sloshing all the way through your body? Maybe even in your head can kind of roll back and forth a little bit. Okay, open the knees wide and then bring them back in, just feeling that range of motion that's available in your hip joints. Breathing deeply. All right, and then right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor, and then switch. Left knee in, right leg long on the floor, and switch. Right knee in, and switch. Left knee in. Start to wake up the core a little bit as you just go back and forth between the two sides. Stabilize through your center. Relax your neck. All right, and then after the left knee hugs in, spread your legs wide again, starfish out through your body. Open things up, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Exhale, this time your head comes up, knees in, and roll over onto your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. Okay, so all fours. All right, let's find a lot of movement here. So you can start with some cat-cows, or you can sway through your hips. You can do some circles. Just let your body move. So wake up the spine in all the little nooks and crannies that you can find. How's your breath? All right, and then stretch back towards child's pose. Take your hips back toward the heels and find whatever comfortable position you can find. Dog pose isn't always comfortable for people, or I mean, child's pose isn't always comfortable. So just find what's available to you. Your hips might be super high or your hips might be low. Relax your head. Breathe down the length of your spine. See if you can feel the breath travel to the sacrum. Walk the hands over to one side of the mat and open up the rib cage and just enjoy. Drop the hips again. See if you can settle your body down. Relax your forehead. And then come back to center and go over to the other side. Drop some weight into the hips. Relax your head. And then come back to center, up onto your hands and your knees again. Feel your spine keep moving. Curl the toes under and find your way to dog pose. Extend and lengthen here. So take your feet close or far. Find where you want to be in space. And then yield. Drop your weight into the earth. Rebound. Let it reach through your body all the way to your pelvis. So the heart lifts toward the hips. The femur bones lift up toward the hips. And the hands and the feet root down. Relax your skull. Breathe deeply. Feel free to move around here. So maybe you want to pedal your feet and drop one heel down. Just kind of explore where your body wants some awakening. All right, and then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Bend your knees as much as you need. Let your spine relax. Shake your shoulders, shake your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Thigh bones move back. And exhale. And melt again. Push off your feet. Rise all the way up. Bringing the arms to the sky. Find the length of your body. Open things up. Cactus, open your arms now. Spread your wings. Feel the backs of the body. The back of the body engage a little bit. So feel the shoulder blades move toward each other. And then bring your forearms to touch and bring your shoulder blades apart from each other. So a little bit of retraction and protraction. Feel the hugging in of your shoulder blades. Feel the broadening of the shoulder blades. One more time. Open the breath. Stay in the body. All right, and then rise up. Reach your arms. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand and feel some extension through the side. Ground through your feet. So feel a little bit of an inner spiral with the thighs. Even weight through both your feet. Check in with the base of your skull and make sure it's relaxed and gentle. How's the breath? Come back up. Switch sides. Open up the side body here. Inner thighs rolling back. Even weight in the feet. And then come back up. One more cactus arms. And then press your hands straight out like you're pushing two walls away on either side. Flex your fingers up toward the sky. Drop the shoulders. Lift one ear up toward the sky. And then back. Lift the other ear. Just notice what you're becoming aware of. What's new sensation going on in the body here. All right, and then relax. Shake out your hands. And notice the aliveness in your upper body from doing a little bit of stretching. Open the body up. Lean forward and bend when you're ready. Bend the knees. Relax your head. Soften. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine gets longer. Exhale and melt back down again. Feel the weight of the feet even. Big toes and pinky toes are grounded evenly. Okay, one more time. Halfway lift. The sit bones lift high. Maybe the legs straighten a bit more. Exhale and melt. Step your left foot back. Right foot comes forward into a lunge. Enjoy the extension through your spine. Okay. Let's go ahead and place our back knee down onto the ground. And you can keep the toes curled under or leave them flat, whichever feels best on that back foot. You can always pat underneath your knee a little bit more if you are on a hard surface. And then rise up, reaching the arms to the sky. Open the chest again. Now find the shoulder blades, hug them toward each other, but try not to collapse so we're not falling. Hug the front heel and the back knee toward each other as you open your chest. And then push forward. Flex your hands again, palms right in front of you. And then place the hands down onto the ground. Back knee comes off the floor. Let's bend and straighten the front knee some to just warm up here. So opening the hip flexors of the back leg as you lunge, opening the hamstrings of the front leg as you lengthen that knee, coming. You don't have to come straight with your leg, but just straighten a little bit, whatever place is comfortable for you. How's the breath? All right, let's hang out inside the breath here. Ground into your lunge. Rise up, crescent lunge. Reach your arms if they're comfortable. So you can always take your hands down. There's no reason why they have to be up in the air. Find your breath. If they are up in the air, let's cactus arms here. Try not to arch the back too much. Just feel the work of the back body supported by the front body. And push the imaginary wall away. And then rise all the way up. One more time. Cactus the arms. Push the imaginary wall away. And up you go. Soft shoulders. Hands down onto the ground. Back foot comes forward. Fold deeply. Start to feel your practice warming you. Inhale for a halfway lift again. Exhale and fold. Other foot comes back. Come into a lunge. Now our left foot is forward. Find your breath. When you're ready, place your knee down onto the ground. Decide whether you want your toes flat or curled under. Hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Feel the grounding of your front heel into the earth and pull it back toward the back knee. When you rise up, see if you can keep that stabilization instead of falling and collapsing. Maybe the arms can come up in the air. And when you're ready, cactus open the chest. And push your hands forward. Rise up. And then release the hands down onto the ground. Back knee comes up off the floor. And let's start to wake up the hamstring a little bit. So bend your knee to stretch the hip flexor of the back leg. Straighten-ish your leg, front knee, to start to feel the hamstring lengthen. So just back and forth with your breath. Start to notice, as you warm up in your body, here we are in our bodies. Is there a sense of insight? Do you have a sense of presence where we're dropping into the present moment, dropping into the soma? This beautiful essence of your present body is there's so much information to be had here about how you are. So stay present. Come up when you're ready. Find your way into a crescent lunge. Even our yoga practice can ultimately be a distraction if we're just so focused on the checklist of I do this, I do this, I do this. So try to do a little less and be a little bit more. Okay, open the ribs up. See if you can hug those shoulder blades and then press the imaginary wall. Okay, rise up. Cactus the arms. Hands press forward. Come on up. Press the front heel into the ground. Reach hands down onto the ground. Back to dog pose. Extend through your spine here. Relax and melt your head. Start to feel what you're feeling. Can you ground your hands well? Maybe not just on the index finger mounds into the earth, but see if you can hug your hands toward each other. Feel the support of your body, your torso, helping your shoulders out instead of just relying on the shoulders to do this posture. Feel the femur bones lift high into their joints and draw back in the pelvis. Melt what you can through your skull, your face. What's here?
Check in with that part of your body that we've noticed in the beginning. Are you supporting? Are you protecting? Are you releasing? What is it that you need? Okay, let's come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Integrate into the center. Find the breath. Notice if you hunker your back a little bit, feel the shoulder blades find each other just a bit. They don't have to, come toward the spine and compress, but you want to have a magnet toward each other so that you're not over relying on your chest. All right, let's come down onto the ground safely. Roll the shoulder blades a few times on the floor. So our shoulders go up toward the ears, then up toward the sky, and then down. Inhale, cobra pose, open chest. And then exhale and melt. Try not to go too far in this pose. Stretch your legs, engage your core. Come on up again. Shoulders are away from the ears. And relax. The elbows do not need to go straight. One more time. Feel the back body now. Hover off the floor. Take your hands off the floor. Bring your elbows down toward your hips. Lengthen the neck. Feel the back body work. Exhale. Melt to come back. Onto all fours. Come up. Swish your spine around. Move things around as best as you can. Okay. We're going to bring our right foot forward. Back knee stays down on the ground. Bring your hand on the inside edge of that foot. Feel the heart lengthen here. Breathing deeply. And notice where you are on the weight. Do you just go right into your wrist? Can you spread the hands out? Are you able to balance weight through your hands? And if not, maybe take fists on the floor or forearms on blocks or some other support so that your wrists do not overburden. When you're ready, if you want, you can pick the back thigh up off the ground, back knee up off the ground, extend the spine. Find your breathing. Okay, we're going to turn to the long edge of the mat here, hands down onto the ground or on blocks, whatever feels really good to you. We're going to come back into that right foot. So just bend deeply and open up the inner thigh of the left leg. And then come back up to center and move over to the other side. And don't worry if your knee doesn't bend really deeply, that you can be high in this pose, all is well. Just feel the opening of the inner thigh. Extend the spine, soften the shoulders. And then come back. Two legs are straight. Heel toe your feet in a little bit so that you can find a semblance of a squat. Oh, let your forearms come onto your knees and open things up. Drop your hips down, lengthen through your spine. Your hips are in line with your knees or a little higher, so we're not dropping our hips way down. Extend the spine here, shoulders away from the ears. Ground the four corners of your feet. And we're going to turn to the back of your mat. You don't need to look at me. You know what to do. Turn to the back of your mat. Come into a lunge with your left foot forward. Place your back knee down on the ground. Bring your left arm to the inside edge of your left leg so the hands are down onto the ground. So finding that runner's lunge with your knee down on the floor. To begin, stretch the heart forward. See if you can feel that sense of space. Widen the sit bones. And then as you're ready, you can decide, do you want to keep the knee down or would you like to lift the knee up off the ground? Shoulder blades stay down the back. Try not to protract the shoulder blades. Have them neutral on the ribs. Wide sit bones. Right thigh is lifting. Soften the right knee. Feel the crown inhale. Feel the shoulders move away from the ears. Feel your breath. And then come back to the side edge of your mat again. Okay, so we're coming into a wide-legged stance here. Heel toe your feet until you have support underneath you to go ahead and stand on up. All right, so find a wide-legged stance here. Open the breath. Turn your right foot out, and let's find Virabhadrasana. Warrior two, you can stretch your arms out to the sides if that feels good. Remember, your pose can be high up here. You do not have to be super low into a lunge. You can be wherever is comfortable for your joints. Drop the shoulders. We're going to turn this into a side angle stretch. So open the chest, Stretch the arm overhead and feel that full side body lengthen. Drop some weight into the back heel. Soften your back knee a little bit so you have the ability to yield and push through that back foot. Try not to overstretch one side of the body. Keep both rib cages, both sides of your rib cage lengthening. All right, turn back to the front of your mat for dog pose. Deep breaths here. Find your breathing in, find your breathing out. Come forward into a plank. Drop down onto your knees or not. Find the pathway that's best for you. Take your arms down at your sides and lift everything up. Legs can be close together or far apart. Will you choose? Back of the neck stays neutral and soft. How's your breath? Exhale and melt. Come back up onto all fours. Move the spine around. Let's bring our left foot forward and turn and open up to the side. Same two poses on this side. Find your way into Virabhadrasana too. So, depending on your hips, you can let your pelvis turn a little bit or a lot. Drop the shoulders, and maybe your hands want to be in a different position. So just find what's available for your body today. Breathe well. Drop weight into the feet. And then when you're ready, you can turn this into Parsvakonasana. Arm coming up in the air, maybe not. Maybe your hand stays on your hip or your hand comes out to the side. So find the pathway that's right for your body. Especially if you have your shoulders or your arm up in the air, have both sides long. So both sides of your rib cage lengthening. Breathing well. And it doesn't matter where you have your arm, just find the ease in your neck, the grounding of your feet. Touch into all the places in your body. Feel what you're feeling. Spread your toes, ground. Feel the legs. Feel the length of your spine. Open up the breath. Move the shoulders down. And then come back up to stand. Turn your feet to the long edge and go ahead and heel toe your feet and face the front of your mat so you can stand in Tadasana. Find your breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. We're going to start just with the arms with this, and then we'll add the legs. So reach the arms overhead. We're going to take the right arm over the left arm. Find your breathing here. Drop the shoulders. Lift the elbows a little bit away from, so lift them up just a bit and away from the torso. And then broaden your collarbones. Just feel into the muscles. These are muscles that all of us get a little too wrapped up in sometimes. So just feel, breathe there. And then unwind. Switch sides. Just warming up the shoulders a little bit before we add balance. Drop the shoulders. Lift the elbows. Pull the elbows away from you just a bit. This isn't a big movement. Subtle. Widen the collarbones. See what you're feeling. Breathe into the sensation that you have. Wobble your head just a little bit so you know it's relaxed. And then release and relax the arms. Shake them out. We're going to find the legs. I like to put my legs into the position first and then add my arms, but maybe you're different. So we're going to stand into the right leg. Left leg crosses over. Drop some squeeze into your thighs. Feel the embrace. And then because our left leg is on top, we're going to put our right arm on top. So always opposites. Whatever leg ends up on top, the opposite arm. Drop the shoulders, lift the elbows. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your legs. Give a really good inner squeeze. And if you lose your balance, that's okay. Find your breath. Let your peripheral vision take over. Stare at your forearms. Feel your ribs expand. And then unwind, star, standing star, open things up. And then release your arms. Stand in Savasana, enjoy the grounding, the 2 feet, feel the breath travel. All right, we're going to stand on your left leg. Now, If you know your balance is a little off, you can always come close and touch something. But if you want to use the arms and the legs and you still need balance support, you can stick your butt against something. So you can do the pose with support of your butt against a piece of furniture. So whatever feels right for your body. We're standing on our left leg. We're bringing our right thigh over. Our left arm is on top. Drop the shoulders, lift the chest. Because there's a squeeze with your arms, see if you can feel the ribs that are available, the bottom rib cage. Let them flare and release. Widen the collarbones. See if you can give a good squeeze to your legs and a good squeeze to the arms. Lift your spine. Lift your chin just a little bit. Find your peripheral vision. Find your foot on the ground. Spread it out. Yield and then rise. Stay inside your breath. And then open things up. Spread your wings. Big star. Exhale. Back to Tadasana. Close your eyes for a moment. Just feel at what's happening in your body. What kind of movement did that pose just create? Let your breath be unbound. So feel the diaphragm free up, the pelvic floor free up. Okay, inhale. Arms coming up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees and float forward. You can use blocks always if you want to. There's always availability of using blocks in your practice. Halfway lift. And then release. Let's step our left foot back. Come to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Okay, so find your legs before we rise up. Now this pose, often we just crunch our back a little bit. So start with your arms behind you, back there. Okay, so palms facing the floor. Engage your triceps, engage the back of your body. Find your core to support. Drop some weight into your back foot, lengthen through your crown. And then as you rise up, try not to just smush into the lumbar spine. Feel the back heel and the crown move away from each other, still keeping the arms low. Rise up a little bit more and just feel, how do you support the spine instead of collapsing? When you're ready, lift the arms. Maybe that will help as well. You can tip your head back. You can interlace your fingers if you want, or your hands can be wide. Your hands can be out, anywhere you want. Drop weight into both heels. Front heel helps the glutes turn on. Back heel. See if you can feel the support all the way through to your crown. And exhale. Release the hands down. Walk your back foot forward. Belt your head. Halfway lift. And then melt again. Step your other foot back. So now our left foot is forward. Drop the heel into the earth. Move your spine. Let it lengthen as you come into your lunge. And reach the arms behind you. So stay low at first. Engage your triceps. Feel those shoulder blades. Lengthen through your spine. As you start to rise up a little bit with your torso, see if you can keep that connection from the back heel through to the crown, that long line of energy in the body. Rise up. See if you cannot break that line. Bring the arms with you. They can come up or out or wherever you want them to be. Breathe well. Open the ribs. Find that little bit of a back bend in the thoracic spine, but not so much in the lumbar spine. It's easy to sink into the lumbar spine. Lengthen. Press your heels down and lengthen. All right, and then release the hands down, back to dog pose. Long spine here. Bend your knees if you want. Pedal your feet if you want. Whatever feels good. Remember, this is your practice. It's not a checklist. It's an experience. What are you experiencing? Can you experience the way your breath feels? Can you experience the yielding? Okay, come forward into a plank. And let's put our knees down onto the ground and stretch back to child's pose for a moment. Take your hips back, lengthen through your spine. I'm going to give you two choices here. We can bring our right foot forward and reach back with your right hand to grab your left foot and stretch your quad. And if that quad stretch is too much for your body, if this pose is a little too much for your knee or for the stretch on your quad or whatever, that's totally fine. Drop down onto your right side, and we're actually onto your left side, sorry. And then grab your right foot and stretch into a quad stretch here. So either way, we're stretching our right quad. The tailbone descends no matter what pose you're in. The tailbone descends, the pubic bone lifts toward the belly button, tailbone descends toward the knees. Okay, and then relax. If you're on the ground, you can just roll over onto your other side to do the other side. If you are in the lunge, just go ahead and switch to the other side. So now our other foot is forward, and we're going to stretch our left quad. Open up the chest. See if you can move the pelvis, tailbone toward the back knee, pubic bone toward the belly button. Stay inside the breath. If you're in the lunge, hug to the midline. What's tense that can let go? What's tense that does not have to be? All right, and then relax and come out of there. Come back onto all fours and move your spine around. And as you're ready, a big child's pose, so big anterior tilt, so sit bones high and wide, and drop back in. Feel the deep compression in your hips. Relax here for a moment. Find the breath. We're going to turn over onto our back to come into bridge pose. Now, let's do it actively if you can. Of course, if you're having a day where you need a little bit more rest, then do it passively. But if you have the energy for it, do an active bridge. So feet ground down into the earth, big toe mounts, pinky toe mounts, inner and outer heel. Find them, root them, and then lift the pelvis up. Rock onto the tops of the shoulders as best as you can. Find your breath. Stay grounded. Now it's easy to just make the neck compress in this posture. Push the neck, lift the chin slightly. Let the chest move toward the chin instead of just pulling the chin down, so that you maintain a little bit of a neutral curve in your cervical spine. Let the back of your head have a little bit of weight. Lift the sternum. Can you let your exhale completely empty? Feel your psoas muscles stretch. All right, then relax. Melt down to the floor. We're going to windshield wiper not just our knees, but our head too. So as knees go left, head goes right, and then switch. And just feel a little bit of swaying from side to side. Let the spine become a little bit more neutral. Breathing well. Now you have a choice. You can go a few different routes here. So if you want to follow me, come onto your belly. We're going to do Dhanurasana. If you want to stay in bridge, you can do another bridge pose instead, or perhaps you'd like to do a more passive bridge and put your pelvis on a block. So if you're following me, grab your feet. Okay, and we're going to take a deep breath in and lift our body up. Try not to let the knees splay out. Keep the neck long. Breathing, let the diaphragm move your body. Feel the shoulder blades dip down toward the spine and toward the pelvis. Breathe. Okay, and then melt and surrender. Turn your head one way or the other and windshield wiper your knees. If you're in bridge pose, come on down and windshield wiper your knees. Okay, if you're on your belly, you're moving your feet. Okay, turn your head the other way. All right, and come on up onto all fours and come back onto your back. If you did bridge pose, then just stay here on your back. And we're going to cross the right thigh over the left thigh and draw the knees toward the chest. Okay, so feel into a little bit of stretch through your hip, finding the breath. Relax your head. Okay, starfish out your body. And then let's change sides. Left thigh over right thigh, knees drawn in. Relax your head. Soften what you can. Okay, rest here. Grab your two blocks, roll over onto your side, and we're going to come into heart bench. So one block under your head and one block between your shoulder blades. If you're kind of short, your block between your shoulder blades can be this distance. If you're kind of tall, your block can be this distance. Experiment. I'm 5'3", maybe on a good long stretched out day. And some days I like it one way, and some days I like it the other way. But if you're tall, you probably will like it the long way. But you choose. So we're going to come to rest. So our head comes onto the higher block, and our spine comes to rest on the lower block, right at the thoracic spine. Now, before we kind of deeply rest here, interlace, or not interlace, but cross your hands to the opposite elbow. Lift your elbows up toward the sky and then slide them over your head for a moment and just make sure this is okay. This is not okay for everybody's shoulders. So if it is okay for your shoulders, you can be here. And if it's not, back off and maybe just land your wrists or forearms on your forehead and let them rest there. So find the pathway that's good for your body. Breathing well. Take advantage, open up the bottom ribs, feel the diaphragm release a little bit. Okay, bring your arms back, and we're going to cross the arms the other way. Choose your pathway. Sometimes I notice when I'm in the pose for a little bit, I'm like, oh, the block isn't in the right spot. I need to move it. So feel free to adjust anything that needs adjusting. Bottom ribs, diaphragm, belly, all freeing up a bit. And then relax the arms. Bring the elbows over the chest. So cross one elbow. You can also do eagle arms, but it's a little bit more soothing to just cross one elbow over the other and grab the backs of your shoulders now, the opposite shoulder with your hand. Breathe into the back rib cage. Change the cross of your arms. You've done all this arm position, and now unwind and just relax your arms down at your sides or wherever they naturally go. Pay attention. Do you need any adjustment with the blocks? Find your breath. Melt the head. Try not to be distracted away, but just feel into the body. Feel into the heart. going to gently, slowly find your way out of this. So bend your knees, put your feet flat on the ground, and we're going to roll over onto your side. You can keep the block under your head for a moment. Bring your knees a little closer, just rest, let the back body broaden. Breathe into the back of your body. And then push up with your hands and come to sit. Now you can either sit on a block in Virasana with your feet next to your hips, or you can sit cross-legged, or you can stand if sitting is just not available, or you can sit in a chair. So whatever's available for a comfortable seat in your body. We're going to do a little breath work here. So find something that you can sustain for a few minutes. All right, now just notice all the work of the back bending, where it's living in your body, how it's living in your body. Is it a little easier to keep the chest open? Do you have a little more built-in resistance against the slump? Do you have awareness in the back of your body that is both strong, stable, but also relaxed? Can you release any tension through the base of your skull? Let your head bobble just a little bit to find ease. All right, so just to become a little aware of the way our breath feels inside of our body, we're going to do a little bit of alternate nostril breathing. So right hand comes onto your nostrils, right thumb on the base of your, like the root of your nostril, not at the tip of your nostril, and then the ring finger on the left. And you can choose different things if you prefer different ways. Okay? Feel the chest rise in a very natural way. So we're not pushing anything. We've imprinted an open heart, so let's keep that. Broad shoulders, collarbones wide. And let's start to breathe in through our left. You can tuck the chin down or drop the chin down. Don't tuck, just drop just a little bit. You can bow just a little bit to feel the softness through your skull. We're breathing in through the left, out through the right. Everybody's breath is a little bit different pace. So breathe out and then breathe in and then switch sides. Close off one nostril, open the other. So it's always an out, in, and switch. We're very gentle with our pressure on our nostrils. We're not trying to push our septum of our nose. We're also not trying to lean or turn in one direction. So feel the alignment of a neutral spine, balanced shoulders, two eyes soft. Just keep moving through the breath cycles. When you have blocked off one side of your nose, what is different? What do you notice about the pressure gradients? What do you notice about where the breath goes? What do you notice about your sinuses as well as your diaphragm? So just feel what you're feeling. Try not to analyze, just observe. And then the next time you breathe out through your left, we're going to pause that and breathe through two sides of your nose simultaneously. Notice the beautiful, swirling, spacious breath. Hopefully notice a bit of balance. Are you present? Are you just being instead of doing? Are you observing? What are you finding when you observe? Try not to judge or analyze, just pay attention. All right, let's come forward with our hands and lift your legs out or back and come into dog pose. Enjoy the space. Still surrender into the breath. Bend your knees as much as you want. Come down onto your knees and sit back on a blanket, the edge of a blanket. Take your right leg straight on the mat and bring your left leg over. Now, if you don't like this, if you'd rather, not if you don't like, but if you'd rather tuck the leg next to your hip, that's fine too. Your pathway, your choice. You can wrap the forearm around the knee. If you want to go deeper, you can bring the elbow to the outer knee. I caution you in depth of twists, so it's very easy to just place bones where they're supposed to go and then ratchet your body open. I'd much rather see the twist be organic in nature, where you're breathing your way into depth instead of finding depth first and then trying to, fill in the color in the center. So find the center to the edges. So depth may come and it may not. You may keep your forearm or hand on your knee the whole time. The hand behind you is supporting the spine. Feel the collarbones broaden. Open the breath. All right, coming back to center. Change sides. So either leg tucked under or your left leg is straight. Okay, grab onto your right knee, either with your forearm around the knee, your hand, or the elbow to the outside of the knee. Other hand is behind you to support the length of your spine. Notice where you are in your pelvis. So are you rolled back on your sacrum? See if you can find your sit bones. Feel the reach of the spine and twist on the exhales. Make the breath make the twist happen on the breath. So the exhales guide you deeper. Inhale, lift through your spine. Exhale to twist. Don't forget about your head. Even your eyes can turn. And then come back to center. Soles of the feet together, but not really close up in Supta or in Baddha Konasana. Have them a little further away. And just come forward. And if your upper back wants to round just a little bit, that's fine. See if you can prevent the total slump from happening. We just tried to do all this work to prevent slumping. So just see an ease happen as you come forward, but not a collapse. You can press your elbows into your legs so that you have a hip stretch at the same time. Come on up. And then we're going to find our way onto our back. Happy baby pose. Hold your feet. You can move if you want. You can sway from side to side, whatever feels good. You can circle, hold on to your knees and do some circling. You can rock side to side, whatever is the end of your practice, whatever's going to make your back feel nice and relaxed before Shavasana. And as we come into Savasana, notice, where do you want to be? Do you want to put your legs up the wall or up on a couch? Do you want to be flat? Do you want to have support underneath your knees? Do you want your limbs to be close to the midline or far away? Are you cold? Do you need a blanket over you or under your head or any support? As you come into relaxing, if you're not super comfortable, shift, make a little change here or there until you find just the sweet spot. And once you figure out, yeah, this will be a good spot, then melt and see if you can lose the fidgeting. Sometimes fidgeting is just yet another way that we try to distract ourselves. There's so many pathways that we have learned to pull ourselves off the focus on the present body awareness, mind awareness. Melt into your breath. Feel where your body's touching the ground. Give way as best as you can. When you are ready, you can begin to find some movement in the breath and in the body. Start to find your way, coming onto your side. Take your time, there's zero rush. Once you come up to sit, see if you can just notice a sense of presence. Slow, steady breath, ease in the body. Nothing to run away from, distract ourselves from, just here. Offer your practice and share your energy. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.